Hi everyone. It's a day later, and I'm liking the look of the painting on the Balrog, and I'm okay with the look of the figures I did before that. I still haven't gotten around to painting this guy, but I discovered a really cool thing, and I'd love to show it to you. I did several of these. You can see I did this one, this page, this page, this page. That's four pages of this. And what this is a brainstorming technique for coming up with stuff that you didn't know you had in you. It's a sort of random generation technique for designing either creatures, or it could be vehicles or props or anything else. So I did this helicopter and this guy riding a Kirin or Qilin. And you can see what it is you come up with 8 designs initially, and then you choose one. And in my case, I actually rolled a dice and let that choose for me, and then you kind of develop that one further. But this comes from the Draw Sessions channel, which is Bobby Rebholz, and I'll show you how it works. Actually, I'll do this pen. So to start it out, you're going to do 4 random lines, and you're not going to pay any attention. Now, I don't want you to try and don't try to form something you think might be interesting, or something that you can build a creature out of or whatever. Literally just go random. So there we go. That's what you want, something like that. And there's 3, 4, and then you're gonna do 4 sloped lines, which are generally straight, but don't have to be. They're not perfectly straight. You don't want to get a ruler out or anything. So there we go. There's one, and you can see it's got a little tail that comes off. This one's got a little curve, but it's still a slope. This one's got a little bit of an S, and we'll do like a. There's a horizontal almost line. Okay, once you have your lines, you're going to go in and you're just going to making sure that you know which one's your main line. So I'm just going to make sure that this one's just a little bit bolder. You want to put in some random squiggles. Make sure that you can still figure out where your main line is. And then same over here. And the squiggles can be on either side. They can be on one side. You can split them up. Maybe you want to put some down here. But you want to make sure you got your squiggles in. And I'm just going to reiterate my original line was something like this. This one I'm going to just try and stay on the left side of it. I think that's right. You can also try. Your lines don't have to be one continuous line. You can try and break your lines up. So I've got little separate lines. You're gonna do it on your sloped lines as well. I will link the video from the Draw Sessions channel. It's about, I don't know, 7 months old or 4 months old. I can't remember. That kind of describes this technique. You want to keep your mind pretty blank. You're not trying to like I'm gonna make this one into a gun, or I'm gonna make this one into a spaceship, or whatever else. You want to just not even think about any of that stuff. You're going completely random. Okay, now you've got your lines and you've got your squiggles. Now the way he does it, and I'm gonna keep doing it the way he does it, is he had creatures in the first line and props in the second line. And props could be vehicles, just random machinery that doesn't, you don't even know what it does. You know, it's just some kind of machinery. Could be a weapon, a vehicle, a magic sword. It doesn't really matter, right? So we haven't chosen yet. And he didn't do this, but this is one thing that I like to do, is you're gonna try and look at the the drawing and see if you see anything in there. And I'm looking at this first one. And if you start to see something, you can kind of try to break it out. And I see this figure in here, but don't go too far. You got some of it. Go about halfway. And this one's a creature somewhere. I'm actually not even sure, but I'm gonna go ahead and oh, this almost looks like a wing. Alright, once again, don't finish the drawing, just start it a little bit. Because you're going to get a second chance to come in and change it up a little bit. Same one here, I'm actually looking for the creature in this one. And I'm not 100% sure. I can see a body here, but I'm not really sure. Sometimes you're seeing a pose or a gesture or some kind of action. So there's my 4 creatures, but they're only halfway kind of conceived of. And probably you're looking at them, like, you can't see them. I actually can't see this one at all. Alright, these next 4 have got to be props of some kind. Kind of see a dagger or a knife there. Could be a spaceship. This could be like a robot's head. Maybe it's an insect robot. And then down here, maybe it's an airship or a spaceship of some kind. We don't know, right? We just got some very rough scribbly drawings. Okay, now you're gonna go back and you're gonna do it again and see if you can bring it out, whatever you picked earlier, bring it out further, and if you change your mind, you change your mind. So in this case, a little bit further on that. Add it a little bit more. I can see this as sort of a wyvern-like creature. This one looks almost rat-like, but I almost want to change it. He's got a tail, but he's got more elongated legs. This one has got a sort of a cuttlefish, mind flayer-like head. And he's kind of squatting down. The dagger is quite apparent at this point. Don't need to do much work on this one. This one could be a ship, but it could also be like some kind of weapon or injector or grappling claw. I like the idea of these claws coming out. And I know I had this one reserved as some kind of robot head. But could be some kind of insectoid thing. You might find your props becoming creatures or your creatures becoming vehicles, or vice versa, you know. And then finally, this is definitely some kind of spaceship. I can see it kind of coming towards us in perspective. All right, once you have all of these things, you've done your scratchy drawings that are totally random, number them 1 through 8. If you have one that you really like, just pick it. Or if you're like me, roll a dice. I'm gonna do thing number 3, which is this mouse thing, and at this point you're gonna switch to pencil because you're gonna draw it down here. So here's my guy, and I'm looking at him. He's got kind of a pear-shaped head. There's some ears, but the ears, maybe this is a horn. And it's got kind of legs. Looking at, he has some kind of spine thing on his back, maybe. Wondering where the eyes are. We could put the eyes way back here, which is where I would instinctively put them, but I could also kind of put them up here in front. Maybe that's not an ear, maybe that's another horn. Maybe it is an ear, though. If it's an ear, then our creature is possibly some kind of mammalian, right? A mammal. But what's important is try and follow what you got, be inspired by it. And then see what else comes out. And I like the way this guy looks. Now, I want to be able to maybe color this guy, but I'm not sure, so I'm going to use my zebra brush pen. As I'm inking it. You know, I'm actually liking the idea that maybe it's not a horn. No, I think it is. I think that could be a horn. Now, Bobby Rebholz over on Draw Sessions is an actual, like, that's his specialty is creature design and concept art. But what I like about this is that there's no, like, we don't have to go searching for references or you know, find something in a book to try and draw or a photo. We're completely just sort of turning our brain off and just let the let your pen come up with something. And it doesn't take very long either. You can see I did 4 of those. I did those last night while I was playing video games and listening to music. Kind of like the idea of putting spikes all the way down them. Now, if you want to, at this point I've done it with, this is the broad brush pen that Zebra makes. You can get a second pen. This is the PN, Micron PN. Both of these are waterproof, so that if I wanted to, I could watercolor them. But once you have your broad lines in, whether it's a Sharpie or a Zebra or something else, and you go in for like a thin nib something, you can get a lot of detail, thick and thin. By the way, this was number 3. Let's give some of those Velociraptor toe claws. And the answer is, why not? So, coming up with things doesn't have to be hard. I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, oh, I don't like all the horns over there. Maybe I'll make this one an ear. Maybe he's got ears. Looks too much like a party hat. So if we wanted to, we could throw some white acrylic pen over that to take it out. But as long as you kind of know where it's going. Maybe give it some feathers. And I think this could be called a spike drake. There we go. What's cool about this? What's cool about it is that it's completely random, and you could fill up your entire sketchbook with completely original random drawings, you know, of creatures or other things. And this guy is all done in waterproof ink, so he could be watercolored if I wanted to. I don't think I could marker him because these microns are not good for markers, but I think he's cool. And if you want to do another one, let's say I want to roll again. I get number 7. Let's do the head, starting with a pencil. Almost want to add like a improvised a bit of a body for him. All right. Makes me think of Mephistopheles. If Mephistopheles had a robotic, you know, like that one sort of robotic servant on Flash Gordon. Clytus. Is it Clytus? Clytus, I'm bored. I think his name is Clytus. I think this is a robot. Or a very metallic looking alien. And same deal. Suddenly we switch pens. Anyway, link in the description leads to that draw sessions video. Which I was referencing. If you want to learn how to do this, or you could just follow my version of the tutorial. It's slightly different. But basically this is all Bobby Rebholz over at Draw Sessions. Give it a moment to dry. If you have an unfilled sketchbook in your possession, why not fill it up? Easy enough to do, right? Okay. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and there'll be more art every day. I'm going to do a bunch of these, and then I'm going to eventually get around to painting this guy. I might paint some of these other concept drawings as well. They're not always going to be winners. You're going to have problems. I definitely had problems. But they are creating something that wasn't there before, and you didn't have to think about it, which is great. And, you know, if you get tired of that, you can always go back to what I do, which is working on my female portraiture and stuff like that. But I need reference for that. All right. Anyways. Please like, follow, and subscribe, and I will see you later.